In this lecture, we are going to see how we can use DESMOS to solve any equation. Yes, we can use DESMOS to use any single equation in the world. And here I've written a couple of equations. I've written 3 equations. They are all of different types. The first one is sort of a rational equation. Second one is a quadratic equation, and third one is an absolute value equation. These are all 3 different types of equations, but all 3 of them have just one variable, that is x. Okay, now in order to solve them using DESMOS, it's really very simple. You just have to type the equations on DESMOS, but I would recommend that you don't type the entire equation as it is. You type the left hand side separately and the right hand side separately, and you put y is equal to the left hand side in the first tab, and then y is equal to the right hand side expression in the next tab. Then you will get the complete graph, otherwise you'll just end up getting straight vertical lines. Okay, so let's do the first one. First one looks like a rational equation, but it's actually a quadratic equation. But anyway, so y is equal to 55 over x plus 6. Okay, so this is the graph of the left hand side. I also want you to do one thing. Just pause this video and try to solve these equations one by one manually without using DESMOS. Now see, DESMOS is a luxury to have, and I also say that DESMOS is God. You know, DESMOS is literally God. It actually can do around 40% of the questions of the SAT math. I don't understand why the SAT creators even allow a graphing calculator. It makes the test so easy. But anyway, then you type the right hand side, so y is equal to x. Then you'll get 2 graphs, and you just see the points of intersection. So these 2 are the points of intersection, and the solutions of the equation will be always the x values. So first of all, there are 2 points of intersection, so there are 2 solutions, and both the solutions are negative 11 and 5. Now the question can be asked in any way, that what is the positive solution to this equation? In that case you'll enter 5. Or what is the smallest solution of this equation? In that case you'll enter negative 11. Or they can ask you what is the sum of the 2 solutions. Then you will enter negative 11 plus 5, which is negative 6. Or they can ask you the y coordinate, the positive y coordinate. So in that case your answer will be 5. The point is, if you can solve an equation, then you can answer any question based on that. Let's move to the second equation. Now second equation is clearly a quadratic equation. Now you can plot it in 2 ways. The first way is you can write the equation as it is, so negative 4x squared minus 7x equals to negative 36. I don't like this method because this just, when you plot the entire equation as it is, it will give you 2 vertical straight lines, and you can see that at which point those lines are intersecting the x-axis. So negative 4 and 2.25 will be the 2 solutions. I don't like this method because you don't get to see the actual shape of the graph. You just see 2 straight vertical lines, and I actually feel more comfortable if I see the actual shape of the graphs. So the second method of doing this is you convert it into standard form. So you bring negative 36 on the other side, so you'll get negative 4x squared minus 7x is equal to 0, minus plus 36 is equal to 0, and you put it equal to y, and you plot this equation instead. So you have negative 4x squared minus 7x plus 36. So now when you do this, you'll get the actual graph. Even if you have not entered y, even then you're, yeah, if you do not enter y is equal to, even then you'll get the actual graph. This is the actual graph, and it is a downward opening parabola because the coefficient of x squared is negative, and you can see that the points of intersection with the x-axis are -4, and 2.250. Remember, the solutions will be always the x values. So -4 and 2.25 are the two solutions. Now there is one possibility that, let's say that in the question they are asking for the positive solution, and the positive solution is obviously 2.25. And if they have given all the answer choices in fractions, then either you can convert 2.25 into a fraction manually by dividing this by 100, and then you can simplify this fraction, or just type 2.25 here and then click on this button. This looks like a fraction icon. Click on that, so you'll get the fraction, which is, oh wait, it's 2.25. Yeah, so 2.25 in fraction is 9/4. Okay, so let's move to the third equation. The third equation is an absolute value equation, and again I want you to pause the video and try to solve this equation manually first. The only reason I would recommend solving the equations on DESMOS is, well, not the only reason, but there are two reasons actually. The number one reason is that obviously you will save a lot of time. So you will save time, and second reason is that you will not make a calculation error, because I know you guys will always make silly calculation errors in the exam, although you will not make the errors in while practicing, but I don't know what happens during the exams. You always make the calculation errors. So if you're solving the equations on DESMOS, well, DESMOS is not going to make a calculation error because DESMOS is God. Okay, so 2 times, let's type this equation. So 2 times 4 minus x plus 3 times 4 minus x equals to 25. And again you're getting these weird straight lines. I don't like this graph. What you can do, you remember what you have to do to get rid of these lines and to get the actual graph, you plot them separately. So put this expression equal to y, that will give you the graph of the absolute value expression, and then you plot the right hand side. So y is equal to 25, and zoom it out. So you see the two graphs. It's like a reverse A. Now what are the points of intersection? The points of intersection are these two, 9, 25 and -1, 25. Right, so the solutions are -1 and 9. Again, if they ask positive solution, you write 9. If they ask negative solution, -1. If they ask sum, you know how you can find out the answer to anything. So the point of this lecture was that you can solve any equation on DESMOS. In this lecture I took only those equations in which there was one variable. In the next lecture I'm going to take system of linear equations, well, no, system of any type of equations in two variables.